BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radio pain. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injuries and additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence. Listener discretion is advised. Oh, hello, Death by Southwest listeners. This is not true crime. This is true crime will be tomorrow. I have it, and I was going to do it, but today's been a rough day, and I decided to just go all in with like an good old-fashioned bitch session, venting session. I'm looking at myself in the camera. It looks like I was going to say poop, but chocolate would be more appropriate, smeared over my lips. It's not a good look. It's not a great camera either. It kind of makes me look the same color as the desk. And I'm not loving it, but that's on par with the rest of today. And you know what? I'm trying to stay really positive. So I'm going to say, it's okay. Everything is okay. Everything's going to be okay. If I say it enough, maybe I'm going to believe it. Nothing horrific has happened, so don't worry. It's just the same old typical life things that I feel like, hopefully, well, I don't want to wish my life struggles on anyone. So I was going to say, hopefully things that I'm not alone in going through, but actually I don't wish any of you to be going through anything difficult. So maybe it is good if I'm alone and going through it. I'm guessing I'm not, though, because mostly it's just financial, career, like life purpose. What am I doing? Why am I here? What's going on type stuff, which I guess is always kind of going on for me, just in varying like degrees. So for those of you who listen, who either are on if you're on Patreon, you're overly familiar with me and my venting and bitching and life struggles. But if you only listen to the true crime, you're probably not listening to this, so it doesn't matter. But if you don't know like the ups and downs and ins and outs of my career, I guess it's been a career over the past few years. The company that, like, my dream job that I worked for, the company, gosh, I'm not sure how much I'm even legally allowed to say. The company went under, basically, went bankrupt. It was really two people's fault and no one else's. And we were all blindsided and lost our jobs. Pretty sure everybody listening knows that. And I was so incredibly lucky to get a job producing Jim Brewer's podcast, maybe 6 months later, something like that, maybe a little longer, after the company went under. Then I worked for Jim for the past 2 years. And unfortunately, I feel like we were, myself and Jim and Mike, who was he's the editor, but he's really a technical producer. God, my camera has such lag. It's really annoying. We were like really hitting our stride. We had all these fun events and things that we were talking about doing in this coming year. And, but when you plan, God laughs, or whatever. Jim decided to go in a different direction. So he's stopped doing his podcast as it was. He's just doing like live YouTube sessions now is what it appears. And I think he has some other fun stuff in store and who knows. But what that meant is that Mike and I were expendable at that point and too expensive. So we both got let go. That was a real bummer. And then luckily, my friend and former colleague, I'm sure you've heard me talk about, Brandon, decided to start his own podcast network, which he has and is still doing, and brought on a couple of comedian, celebrity podcasters and asked me if I would produce some of these shows. So one of them is an established show. One of them has not premiered yet, launched yet. It hasn't even been announced. It'll be announced next week. And so I said, yeah, I'm super excited to do that. Like what amazing timing. And one of the gigs, I'm not going to say who either of them are with, not because I'm trying to be like so elusive or secretive. It's just nothing is written in stone. Nothing has been signed. And so I've learned that better to not talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it in generalities. So the way it was going to work is the comedian, he was going to pay me a monthly monthly fee to produce, edit, everything for his show. And that was supposed to start in June. And then the other one that hasn't even been announced yet, it's not an established podcast. That one, Brandon offered me to work on commission on that, which I agreed because like, what am I going to say? No, I need the work. I hope it's going to be a successful show and then that'll be great. But I've never worked as a producer or an audio or video editor off of commission alone. And what that basically means is I don't make money until the show makes money and then pays itself back, like for any equipment, graphic designers for the cover art, music, like anything that has been spent to make the show happen. If it's like a new show, that gets reimbursed first by the money that the show makes. Then the talent gets paid. Then I get paid. Then Brandon gets paid. So hopefully it'll be successful and and I'll make money from it sooner than later. But realistically, it could be months. And there's usually a 3-month lag with money from ad sales anyways. So the work on that one is ramping up. It's been busy and there's no pay from it. So I was told that the work with the comedian where he would just be paying me a flat fee every month would start mid-July. That has came and gone. Mid-July has come and gone. It is now mid-August. And now I just found out yesterday he doesn't want me to start until probably September. And since this was supposed to start in June, maybe even May, then June, then July, then August, now it's September. I am really excited about this show and really want to work on it. I really hope that it does happen, but I can't really count on that. I don't think at this point, because I was certain that I would be getting paid at the end of August by this person. That's not happening. And so now I find myself with about 2.5 weeks left in August until rent is due. I have a very large electric bill. If you live in Arizona or I guess the Southwest in the summer, you can probably relate to that. And I'm busy though. Like I have work that I'm doing for Brandon, for his company, and for this new podcast that's being announced next week. Ooh, I just dropped my phone. Sorry. Like I'm busy. So I can't really go out and just get a job at Target, although I did go and get an application because I was going to apply the other day. But then I did some calculations and realized even if I worked like 40 to 50 hours a week between now and the beginning of September, I still wouldn't make enough for rent. And I probably wouldn't be paid before then anyways. And I'd have to give up this I'd have to give up all the podcasting. So I am finding myself in a very unique position where I have no idea how I'm going to pay my bills in 2.5 weeks. Now, it's not unique. Lots of people I understand are probably in that position, and I've been in this position certainly before. But there was always like something, money coming from like, oh, somebody, a past job owed me, or I don't know. I've never quite been in this position where I'm like, oh yeah, I actually have no idea how I'm going to survive right now. And I can't, I am not above anything. I'll take any job. Like I'd go work at Target, McDonald's, anywhere. I'm not above or like, no, I don't want to do, not at all. When the company I was working at, when Cavalry went under, I started dog walking, still doing that a little bit. It kind of dies down in the summer here. But yeah, it's a complicated, well, it's not that complicated. It's an annoying situation to be in because, well, I've also applied for about 1.5 billion jobs online, approximately, every week. I mean, since Cavalry went under, I've been applying for jobs in media, in entertainment, in producing, in podcasting, in, you know, marketing, in writing, producing adjacent type things. And yeah, nothing. So I watch the news a little. I know I'm not completely alone in this. It's impossible to get a job right now, or it feels impossible. And yeah. So I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? And I kind of thought like, well, okay, 2.5 weeks. So there's very few like actual jobs, like go out and work in a wherever where I'll make enough money and get paid in time to pay my rent and pay my electric bill, hopefully soon. Uh, I mean, and that only takes care of September, but we're dealing with what's in front of us right now. That's my motto these days. And there's 85 billion articles, Instagram posts, TikTok videos about side hustles and making extra money or earning an income online or making YouTube videos to earn an income. And I don't doubt that like a lot of these suggestions are very real and true. And if you stick with it, you can make a good income. In 2.5 weeks, probably not. So, and even I'm unwilling to venture down anything that's too nefarious or inappropriate. Not inappropriate, sorry. I'm not gonna like start an OnlyFans. I know that's like everybody's answer to everything, I feel like, but first of all, does anybody care about like a regular person OnlyFans, not a famous person? I don't really know. I doubt it. And I'm not comfortable doing that. So, no shame in doing it at all whatsoever. And if it was like you're guaranteed to make, enough money that you could pay all your bills and not worry, okay, then we'd have something to talk about. But I'm not comfortable doing that on the like maybe I'll make some money. No. So I still don't really know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to turn it into something that's hopefully helpful to other people who may find themselves in this situation. And for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to try everything that I can using the skills that I have and the skills that I've developed, the equipment that I have, podcasting stuff, computer, and try everything that potentially could bring in an income in the next 2.5, 3 weeks. So things like, a bunch of people were like, that I've talked to were like, sell feet pictures. I mean, I have decent looking feet. I'm not opposed to that. All my research says, first of all, it's not as easy as it sounds. It takes a long time to like develop clients, I guess. So anything that would that takes more time to set up and isn't going to show a return in 2.5 to 3 weeks, not trying it. So I asked ChatGPT and combined with some research online to come up with a list of different things to try. And I'm not going to sit here and rattle off the list, but obviously a lot of it involves social media, which I hate. And I know that's such a conundrum being like a podcaster or being someone who works in media. And that's what I have a lot of experience in, social media and editing videos and cutting social media clips. But I don't want to be the star of those. And I don't want to be doing it for myself, like pushing my own life out there. Because I don't have like I could make a few videos on like what it's like to be a podcast producer or how to become a podcast producer or what that entails, I guess. Um, Someone suggested, why don't you start making videos about the celebrities that you've worked with, even briefly, or no? I'm not going to do that. That feels like a violation of many things. And beyond that, like, well, I have lost 60 pounds in the past year, a little over 60 pounds. So weight loss journey, I guess. I've documented it in pictures, so I guess I could start sharing those. And I have some, a handful of recipes that I make as like a person who lives alone and doesn't want to spend a lot of money on food, but still wants to eat healthfully. I guess I could do that. I have drawers full of makeup and beauty products that I love trying and testing out. I guess I could do that. I'm not like an expert in any one of these things though. And there's so many people out there who are experts and who have like really honed in on their cooking videos or their get ready with me or makeup or whatever, educational videos. And I'm not one of those people. So I don't know, but look, at this point, I am not above trying anything. So I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to try at least one thing every day. If, some of these things are like continued effort, I will continue those. And then the goal is to make at least one social media video, video a day, like updating, like, okay, I'm going to call it the 3K in 3 weeks. It's a little less than 3 weeks, but we'll stretch it. 3K in 3 weeks is what I need to make. And can I do it just using what I have at my disposal? Like the editing software I have at my disposal, the equipment, the skills, the social media accounts, this podcast. Is it possible for me to come up with $3,000 to pay my rent and my electric bill for September in 3 weeks? And I wanted to answer that question just now and say, fuck no, it's not. But that's not very positive, and I am really working on having a positive mindset and thinking positive things and saying positive things. And I know that's so fucking annoying. Toxic positivity is definitely a thing, but I can't afford to be negative right now and to put negativity out there. I don't necessarily believe in speaking things into existence, but again, I'm willing to try just about anything right now. So if you or when you happen to see a lot of more social media videos, because I'm just going to try everything. I'm going to make some of these cooking videos. I'm just going to kind of document my life and share it, which I guess I do on here from time to time. but in very small snippets. Like obviously I'm sitting at the computer. I'm not, and I'm just going to see if any of this stuff works, any of the suggestions. I guess I should have the list in front of me. Yeah. Over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to try anything legal and moral-ish. I did add a page to the Death by South website because I realized I don't have like a portfolio or even like a rate card out there in the world. So I added a page that says hire me, and it lists all the different things that I can do that people would pay for, I guess. And then has a light portfolio. I'm still adding to it, so it's not complete. But so I'm going to push those services like a one-on-one consulting call for people who are wanting to start a podcast, editing podcast episodes. If I don't know, maybe if I talk about this on social media, somebody will see it and be like, oh, I need a podcast episode edited. I've done a lot of research on user-generated content lately. I'm not going to get into what that is because if it doesn't work out, then there's no point in talking about it. But I'm going to try that. I created a whole portfolio on that. I've basically spent the last like few days beefing up my portfolios, website, list of ideas, and now I'm going to just try everything. So I don't know, maybe posting more on social media, I'll drive more people to the Patreon or drive more people to the like PayPal link where you can donate money to the show. Or maybe it'll be some just wealthy person who's like, I'm going to support her. I think that probably everyone who finds themselves in this position probably thinks the same thing that I'm thinking that I just said and hopes that would happen. But I have nothing to lose at this point. I have $0 of the $3,000 that I need to pay my rent and pay my electric. So let's turn it into an experiment and let's see what works, what doesn't. And I would love any ideas from you guys. If you have any side hustles, main hustles, jobs that you know of that I could do, from home, basically, I'm certainly willing and able to go like walk dogs. I was a nanny and a teacher, so love kids, happy to babysit, but I also still am attempting to leave my schedule somewhat open so that I can keep working on this podcast that I can start talking about more specifically next week. Yeah, so if you know of anything though that might fit into my wheelhouse, then let's pause while the dogs go crazy. Hold on, guys. I don't remember exactly where I was, but yeah, I would love. So you can expect to see more of me on social media, which I fucking hate, but I'm going to play the game. And if you have any ideas, anything that you hear of, anything at all, please, please, please message me, email, contact me through the website. Don't send a message on Instagram because I haven't opened those in 30 years. But yeah, I'm open. Any and all ideas welcome. And if you know of any rich people who love giving money away, definitely tell me about that too. That would be great. Thank you. Yeah, that has been consuming my brain. Like today was a day, guys. And every day has been a day because anyone who struggles with anything, I was going to say anyone who struggles with money, like financial issues, like paying, how are you going to survive and pay your bills and buy groceries? But anyone who if you're having marital problems, if you're having problems with one of your children, if you're having problems at your job, if you're having problems with your weight or with mental illness, life is hard. This is such an uplifting podcast, isn't it? If you're having trouble with anything, it can really overshadow everything. And I have been trying so hard for the past like 2 weeks. I did just find out the other day that Josh wasn't happening, but I kind of had like an inkling, but I was trying to think really positive, like, no, it's going to happen. He's going to, it'll be fine. Oh, I just said Josh. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I forget that I'm not talking just to Patreon, because on Patreon I talk a lot more freely. It's a trusted small group. Come on, Margot, get your train of thought on track here. I've been trying to think. I can't do anything right now today. Like, I can brainstorm. I can take steps and make strides to work towards changing my financial situation. But also, like, I'm here. As far as I know, I'm healthy. Of course, I don't really go to the doctor, but I feel healthy. I still have a home. Henry is still here and alive. We've passed the 1 year mark from when we found out about his heart tumor, and he is still here, still loving going on morning and night walks, still eating, like seemingly, he coughs a lot, but seemingly pretty healthy. So there's a lot of really good things too. And I know how annoying it is. It's like, just be positive, just stay positive. It's like, oh my God, about what? There's nothing positive happening. But I'm trying. I am trying to be that annoying positive person to myself. I'm not like annoyingly sprinkling positivity all over everyone else. But yeah, today we did, so this podcast that will be announced next week, and then I don't have to talk about it like with so much privacy. The studio is across the country. And so I'm running a remote studio, but it's set up for live guests, for in-person guests. So there's multiple cameras, multiple microphones. It's a whole different setup than just like hopping on StreamYard or Zoom. It's honestly, it's new to me and it's complicated. I'm good with technology. I'm not amazing at technology, and certainly not this like audio equipment that I'm not familiar with and audio programs I'm not familiar with. Mike has been a huge help. But somebody was hired to set it up yesterday. I'm like remoting into the computer there and taking over the computer there from my computer here. And it went well yesterday. Like, okay, I can control the computer. I can see what's happening in the studio. I can hear things. I think this is good. But that person had to leave, and I didn't have anybody to like test out the microphone. Like, let's test the volumes. Am I getting feedback? Am I getting, what's happening? Until this morning, when the host of the podcast and the host's like social media team were all in the studio trying to record the trailer. And I'm here trying to control the computer there across the country, control the StreamYard online recording, the cameras, the microphone volumes. I can't hear anything except for echo and feedback, and it's terrible. It sounds like I'm in a nightmare. But I had Mike jump on the StreamYard, the online recording, and he was like, no, it sounds okay to me. I mean, it doesn't sound great, but it sounds okay. So the whole time that they're sitting in front of the mics recording, I'm like, well, should I like press this button, echo cancellation, background noise, this? I was like, no, that doesn't sound right. I couldn't hear anything because while I was getting sound from the computer there and sound from my computer here, it was a disaster. They didn't know it in studio. They didn't know it. Thank goodness. For me, I was almost in tears. Like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. And then I'm not going to have this job because I don't live there. So if I can't control it remotely, like I was panicking. And at a certain point, I said, after about 4 hours of sitting there, they left the studio. The host and her team left the studio. And I was like, okay, let me see what else. I was trying to figure out some other stuff. Everything that they recorded that I captured sounds like garbage. So that's a problem. I was like, you know what? Everything is getting confused in my head. I'm super overwhelmed right now. I'm going to step away from this. So I did. I got up. I decided I was going to do a workout. I did that. We're going to go real honest here. Mid workout, I'm like, I work out in front of the mirror and I can see my stomach. I'm just looking at like almost like wrinkles on my stomach. I have lost a good amount of weight, so I know I have a little bit of like looser skin. Not a ton, but a little. I'm not concerned about it. I'm not entering like any, you know, bikini contests. It doesn't really matter, except for I'm really the only one who sees it. It doesn't matter. But today it mattered to me somehow. That like dimply, wrinkly skin on my stomach, I just like couldn't not be seeing it. So I was like, well, where's the like derma roller little thing? People use it on their face, it's supposed to induce collagen production. And I read that you can also use it on different parts of your body. So I've been using it on my stomach. Couldn't find it. I'm like in between sets on my workout, the workout video on, I pause it. I'm like, well, it's got to be around here and start looking. And after 5 minutes, I'm like, I can't find it anywhere. And I am losing my mind. I just start yelling. Both of the dogs hate yelling. So they both like slunk into the back hallway because didn't know who I was yelling at. And they were like, who is it? What was this crazy lady doing? And I'm just like, where is it? This is so fucking annoying. This does happen to me frequently where I'll put something somewhere. I'll be like, this seems like the right spot for it. I'll remember that it's here. And then when I go to look for it, I can't find it. And it drives me mad. And today, because I was already kind of wound up from 4 hours of just like failed studio recording, which really upset me, and then also all of this financial stress is sitting in the back of my head at all times. I lost it. And I'm just like running through the house, like slamming drawers, opening them. And I'm not really that upset that I can't find the derma roller. Obviously, we all know this is about more than that. But yeah, I lost it. And then I like, in my like terror around the house, I go into the bathroom. And right when you walk into my bathroom, there's a counter on the side, and I have like a little wooden tray with a handful of different bottles of perfume. They're all insignificant, cheap, and not important, except for one. My mom always wore, I'm going to cry. My mom always wore Chanel Mademoiselle. And I grew to love that perfume. Me and Jenna both did. And so one year for Christmas, and it's very obnoxiously expensive. So I was never purchasing that for myself. But, one year for Christmas, my mom got, I guess both of us probably, a nice big bottle of it. And after she, and I wore it all the time. And after she died, it became even more significant because if you've ever lost somebody, or really not even just losing somebody, just memories. Smell is associated with memories so intensely. So, whenever I smell either somebody wearing that perfume or like a hint of that perfume, it's the most overwhelming feeling of my mom. And I mean, I usually try not to place too much attachment on things. Oh, who am I kidding? I do. I place attachment on things like memorabilia type things that remind me of people or moments, things like that. I don't give a shit about like purses or sunglasses or stuff like that. But this was important to me. And not only did it remind me of her, just that she had given it to me, but I only wear it on like Christmas or special occasions because it's hard. It reminds me of her so much. Yeah, and I like tore into my bathroom and must have like knocked into all the perfumes, and they all fell over. I should take a picture. All of them are falling over. The only one that fell off the counter is the Chanel and just shattered everywhere. And I just lost I just became inconsolably hysterical. Which again, yes, makes me sad. Is it the end of the world? No, it's fine. My mom would tell me not to like get so worked up about it. It's just, I think it's trying really hard not to be stressed lately, trying to stay positive. Not that I'm suppressing it, but I'm trying really hard not to focus on the stress or the negativity that I'm feeling and just be happy. And it just like all came crashing out today after this perfume broke. And I was like, my first instinct in those moments, welcome to therapy, guys, is to reach out to someone. And generally that person is Mark, which I think is good and bad. Like sometimes, yeah, that's great. Of course, you want to reach out to your partner and get support and be able to vent or share. But I'm not good at it. When I do it or when I have in the past, I tend to reach out like in an angry way, which doesn't really make sense to me because he's done nothing wrong. He doesn't even know what's happening over here at my house today. And I've just not been very good at it in the past. So, but today I like picked up my phone and I was ready to like text him like, I just broke my mom's perfume. This day fucking sucks, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? No, no, I'm going to handle this alone. Woo, congratulations for me. I'm 43 years old and I'm just figuring out how to emotionally regulate myself. So I cried. I let myself cry. I laid on the floor and then I finished my workout video. And then I ate some lunch. I wanted to really badly just like smoke pot or make a drink, even though I don't really like drinking. I just wanted to not feel anything, not like not a big surprise. We all know that's not super healthy. So I am proud of myself that I didn't do that, that I finished my fucking workout, that I had lunch. And again, this I recognize sounds so petty and stupid, probably. Like, oh my God, get over yourself. So you broke your mom's perfume or, you broke something that was important to you, or you're going to let it ruin your whole day. Most people wouldn't do that. And that's true. Most people wouldn't. In the past, I would. And I didn't today. And I'm not going to let it continue I didn't let it continue to ruin the day. I finished the true crime episode and then I decided to do this because 3K in 3 weeks is going to be 3K in 2 weeks pretty soon. So I figured I may as well get this like fun little experiment that I'm doing out there. And yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's what I got, guys. I'm kind of how it makes me nervous to embark on this $3,000 in 3 weeks thing because it involves a lot of just sharing myself and my life and posting on social media. And I don't really care for doing that. And I know I have done it on here for sure. And I still do, obviously, right now. But once I put the podcast out, it's like I kind of forget how honest I am, if I am, or like what I talked about or what I shared. And the difference is that it's not on social media. Like I don't cut clips from these bonus episodes and put them on social media where like they'll be replayed over and over and over. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's like I can like share all kinds of personal stuff and then it's just out there, but I can forget that it's out there. And yeah, I think that changes when you put it on social media. So I'm not crazy about that. But like I said, desperate times call for desperate measures. So I'm going to do it. Uh, and then also, I second guess myself the same way I do on the podcast. Like, well, nobody died today. Like, I don't have um, a terminal illness. I'm I'm still in my home. I still have time to figure out how to pay my rent. So like really what am I doing? Why am I complaining? Why am I putting this stuff out in the world? There are other people who have such bigger problems who are dealing with so much more. And then on the flip side, I have to think, well, there's also people who are probably dealing with similar things to what I'm dealing with. And so in that sense, maybe this will be relatable then or helpful because maybe I will be able to raise $3,000 in 3 weeks and then I can share what worked in case anyone else finds themselves in this situation. So, basically just I wish I could turn my brain, my overthinking, self-doubt brain off sometimes and just do. And that's what I'm going to try and do. So with that being said, I'm going to go because cat hair in my mouth. Uh, because I have a little bit more work to do. And after that, I'm going to go to Mark's house and let him make dinner for me because then I don't have to pay for groceries. And I enjoy the company, but yes, and like I was like, can you please feed me for a while? And he graciously agreed. Um, Recommendations for if you're looking for something to watch. We watched this Amy Bradley is Missing documentary on Netflix last week or over the weekend. And I'm not going to say anything about it because it will. I had never heard of this case. I talked to my friend Danielle about it, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, I've been following it since it happened, like for years." I was like, "I've never even heard of it." So it was fascinating to me. It's 3 episodes, super fascinating. I'll just say it. I didn't love the ending, but I still think it's super interesting and worth watching. Um, yeah, that's my TV recommendation right now. And if you guys, yeah, if you have any ideas for my 3K in 3 weeks experiment, please send them my way. If you happen to be an expert on like running a remote studio with these are things that I'd never heard of, but like a focus right. It's like a little thing you plug the microphones into. And then I also had to download something called, oh, what's it called? Something banana that helps with the audio through StreamYard. I don't know. I'm learning. Thank God for Mike. But if anybody has done this, is an expert and wants to share their input, I welcome it. Please, please educate me. And I guess that's it. So hopefully you'll join me on this 3K in 3 week challenge on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, because that's where I'll be posting videos, hopefully starting tomorrow. Also, when I make social media videos, I would like to look not like an old, tired hag that I look like 99% of the time. But I also I don't have it in me to like do my hair and get ready. I mean, my hair's very dirty if you can't tell, and get ready every day. I just don't. So I'm not going to. These are going to be realistic. This is what life looks like for me right now. Get excited, guys. I know I am. And true crime tomorrow. New, very interesting true crime story tomorrow. That will be out midday, let's say. And I love you all and thank you for letting me vent and bitch about a myriad of different things. And thank you for continuing to listen. So, that being said, love you all. I look forward to hearing your ideas for making money quick. And I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. It's supposed to be like a very like cosmically wonderful, abundant time, according to the 87 horoscopes that I see on Instagram, because that's really all that I follow. maybe I'll find like a bucket of money outside in the dirt roads. Who knows? Or maybe you will. And then you'll be willing to share it. So, abundance comes in all forms. My love is in abundance for all of you. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Death by Southwest is hosted by Jenna Schneider and Margot Carmichael.
Executive produced by Margot Carmichael.
Produced by Jenna Schneider.
Audio editing and sound design by Margot Carmichael.
Music by Soundstripe.
And a special thanks to Edward R. Murrow for letting us borrow his famous sign-off phrase, good night and good luck.